When they sacrifice people, they rip out their hearts. That's the historic trivia that you know about the Mayas, the Incas, and Aztecs. And then what? That's it. That's true. They do that. We're going to talk about that. Is anyone squeamish here? Anyone have a problem talking about ripping out of hearts and tossing of people down pyramids? No? Ellie's like, oh, I just started paying attention. Ellie! Okay. Very good. Miller, what do you know about the Olmecs, Mayas, Incas, Aztecs?
Well, I know that the Aztecs are from like a jungle sort of biome.
Yep, very good. You're right. What about you, Lily? What do you know? And you can say nothing. That's fine too. What do you think of when I say Maya, Inca, Aztec? Do you have no sound, Lily?
I don't know.
Ellie, what about you?
I know nothing.
Nothing. Perfect. That leaves a great opportunity to learn something. And what do you know about the Mayas and Incas and Aztecs, Zachary?
No, nothing much.
Nothing much. Okay, well, so far our collective knowledge is they rip people's hearts out of their bodies and they live in the jungle. Good. And that's true. That's totally true. And actually the human sacrifice is very interesting. I'll tell you all about it. In fact, I think your homework is about it too. Okay. So just a reminder, we are going to the middle and lower part of Central South America now. Oops, I just noticed that I went, Ellie, you've been to the civilization of the
I forgot.
Aztecs.
I didn't I know that I'm pretty sure that they've had these games and then the winner was sacrificed.
You're
And
absolutely right.
wanted to be the winner.
You're absolutely right. Yes, they had a kind of a basketball game, and if you won, then you are doomed. So everyone's a loser in their ball game. So yeah, you've been to one of the Aztec pyramids probably, or possibly Mayan, but probably Aztec. Very cool. Did you climb up it?
It doesn't let you.
Oh man, I'm going to show you a video of someone who did it anyway, and then you'll be appreciative of your own choice.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Amelia. Welcome, welcome. We just started. Welcome. Nice to see you. I put here, let me put it one more time. Here's your new Google Classroom.
New Google Classroom?
Oh, yep. You got a new Google Classroom.
And a chocolate pretzel.
So add yourself. And we're going to be just a couple more weeks on the old book, just to, because I don't want to skip the Reformation. That would be disastrous. And then we're going to move into the new book, and we'll be in the modern period, which is the part that everyone always gets excited about. And we are talking about today the Maya, the Inca, the Aztec, and the Olmec. And I asked everybody what they already know about the Aztecs, Mayans, Incas. What do you already know, Amelia? Nothing? Okay, perfect. That's mainly the consensus. So far, the rest of the class has said that they rip people's hearts out of their bodies, they live in the jungle, and they play a ball game where if you win, you get sacrificed. So that's our collective knowledge so far. That's what we're starting with.
Question.
Yes?
So does that mean that if you win, you basically go bye, you know?
Correct. That's one way of putting it, a very friendly way of putting it. You basically go bye.
So it's better to lose than win that game.
Yeah.
And how does it even work in the first place?
Stay tuned. We can do some more on that game if you like. I have some cool videos on that game.
I finished my chocolate pretzel.
Basketball of Doom. That's not what they called it. So remember, we talked about the first human beings, now this is going way back, walking across the ice bridge, the Bering Land Bridge theory. And that's how the first human beings got into the Americas. There's also a theory that they went by boat and got to the Americas. And when they arrived in the Americas after walking, they spread out and they also arrived in different groups. And some of them stayed further north. A lot of them moved south because the weather is better. It's nice and warm. And then some of them just kept going and moved all the way into South America. And those are the people we're going to talk about today, are the ones who moved into Central South America, Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, all of those. They're going to split up into thousands of tribes with thousands of different languages, over 2,000 different languages, and lots of different cultures that are really based upon the geography. So you guys said they lived in a jungle. That's true. And that's going to have a lot to do with how they behave. Yes, Amelia.
That's what I'm going to eat after my chocolate pretzel.
Amelia, does this have anything at all to do with the Olmecs, Mayas, Incas, or Aztecs?
What did they eat?
Unless the answer is a human being, then not relevant to history. Actually, I don't think they were. They might have been cannibals. I can't remember. So here is a little map of a number of the different really early archaeological sites that we have that tell us that human beings were here many thousands of years before the Europeans showed up and killed many of them off. And this is actually the boat theory. So this is pretty cool. They found these arrowheads, these Clovis points, they're called. They found them across North America, all over the United States, and they found similar looking arrowheads in Japan. How do we explain this? If you were an archaeologist and you discovered projectile arrowheads, like they would have put them on a stick and used them to hunt, and then you discover that those arrowheads look very similar in shape to the arrowheads in Japan, what would you think? Yes, Amelia.
They came from Japan?
Yeah, exactly. That there must be some relationship between the two cultures. But they also have the date of how old these are, and they are actually 16,000 years old, which is over 1,000 years before the ice bridge. So if these two cultures are related, the one in Japan and the one in North America, then it would support the idea that people had boats and came by ocean all the way from Asia to the Americas, which is a pretty interesting idea. Yes, Amelia.
Could China and America actually float next to each other if the Earth's tectonic plates actually like kind of moved?
I don't think they move that much. Think of them as a puzzle sitting in a really thick goop.
You get my point.
They don't float like a boat. They shift just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like in like a bunch of years, you think China might actually be next to America in like a bunch of years?
I don't think that's the way they move. But you
Uh-uh.
ask your science teacher instead. I don't think so.
I don't have a science teacher,
Oh dear.
but I do learn science.
Focus, Amelia. Focus. Laser beam with your questions. We have like 2,000 years to get through today. Then there's the land routes. So 15,000 years ago, humans also came from Asia and walked through Canada or came by boat. That boat's the green line. And they settled in places like New Mexico, Chile, and the Paisley Caves, which we're going to see very soon. And this is Clovis. This is where they found basically a bunch of road construction workers were just doing their more boring, hardcore, difficult job digging up the road. in Clovis, New Mexico, and it's hot and they're tired and they're just digging, and suddenly their shovels hit something. And so they dig some more, and they find bones. And at first they don't know what these bones are, but then they realize that they are the bones of an enormous set of animals. And in fact, they were woolly mammoths. And so archaeologists came, and and paleontologists, and they investigated, and they found whole stacks of woolly mammoth bones along with a bunch of those spear points, the Clovis points. And these are the ones that match the ones in Japan. So that is a long way from Japan. And they found these things in 10,000 other, they found 10,000 of these other same arrowheads in 1,500 locations all around North America and as far south as Venezuela in South America. And these things are 13,000, 14,000 years old. So super old. But it is a little tricky because these are not easy to date since they're stone. And there's your mammoth. There's the pit of the mammoth hunters. And this told us so much cool stuff about the Clovis people because they found butchering tools, they found chipped stones, they found hearths where people would have cooked the food, and they found a bunch of different bones of animals, including 12 baby mammoths, 1 horse, 1 tapir, a number of bison, 1 camel, a bear, some rabbits, and a garter snake. And this told us that the earliest people were hunters, but not very good hunters. Like they went after the weak animals, the baby animals, the animals that wouldn't fight back so well. And usually they'd wait for them at the water holes. And that they were meat eaters. And you could see they ate a lot of different types of meat. And they also found drills and needles and toolkits and things like that. This is the Paisley Caves, another one of the oldest sites of early human beings in the Americas. And this archaeologist is so excited because he found a really special treasure that tells us a lot about the earliest people in America. Can anyone guess what it is? Ellie's like, I don't know, I don't care. No guesses? It's called a coprolite. Does anyone know what a coprolite is? Fancy name. This object can tell us people's health. It can tell us what people ate. It can tell us the variety of things that people ate.
Question.
Yes.
Can you just show us a picture of it?
I'm showing you. He's holding it. No guess?
I can't see it.
It is poop. It is fossilized poop. This is America's oldest poop. America's oldest turd. And you may be like, gross, why did they dig up a turd? And why did they keep it? Miller's like, ... Well, finding a poop is a jackpot for an archaeologist because this poop was not just any poop. This poop told us that they ate mammoths, that they ate seeds, that they ate rats and mice and other rodents, that they ate bugs, and that they ate lots of plants. Treasure. And because it's an organic material, we can date it very well to 14,000 years old. So that is a 14,000-year-old human poop. I mean, can you imagine if you've been dead for 14,000 years and then someone digs up your turd and is like, look what I found, guys. This is the greatest thing in the universe. Lily's like, yes, I'm going to go poop in my backyard right now just to make sure that I am remembered. And Ellie says, poop is not my ideal treasure. Well, listen, if you're an archaeologist, poop is a jackpot. This is another piece of evidence that we have of the earliest people, and in fact, of kids. These are footprints of teenagers, children, and a couple of adults in White Sands National Park, New Mexico. And we know how old they are. But the question is, how do we figure out how old they are if they're in sand or stone? Because the main way that archaeologists use to date things is they have to have been living. They have to have carbon in them, because then we can use carbon radioisotopes. We could use a process to figure out how much carbon they've lost. But the only way to do that is if it was alive, if it was like a plant or an animal or something like that. If it's a rock, can't use this technology. So how do we figure out, if you were an archaeologist, you came across these footprints, what kind of things might you do to try to figure out how old they are? Any guesses? I was like, no. Yes, Amelia?
Look how deep they are into the earth where they dug.
Well, you're onto something, but how would that tell us? Okay, so sure. So if we had layers of soil,
Yeah,
that would be a way. That would
that's
be a great
practically
way
what I mean.
to tell. But in this case, we don't have layers of soil.
I yeah.
It's Ellie.
Maybe like look up like wait, never mind.
Well, Amelia, you're kind of onto something. There's something related to what you said that is the way that they did it. Yes, Amelia? Oh dear.
Maybe they could find other things that were in the like same kind of layer place they found it, and then know what time it was from.
That's exactly what they did.
What?
So they got lucky and they discovered a couple of grass seeds underneath these footprints, because these were wetlands. This was like a marsh. You imagine like a bunch of kids playing around in the mud, and then it dried out. So it used to be a lake. So because it was a lake, a lot of grass used to grow there, and they found some ditch grass in and around and under the footprints, and they could date these grass seeds. And so they discovered that these footprints are 21,000 to 23,000 years old. Now that's another little complicated situation, because you just saw that the land bridge theory dates human existence in the Americas to about 16,000 years old. So that's way before that. So again, how did they get there? Who were they? Lots of questions. So this proves
We
that
know their names.
we don't know their names. Nope. But you know, because of the size, we can guess their ages. Kind of, sort of, you know, the size and shapes. And maybe have some sense of their weight. Depending on how deep they are and that kind of thing. But yeah, this suggests that there were people who made it past the ice sheet before, and then were joined later on by other people. And they're still figuring out things about this site and trying to figure out how those people got there. So that's like brand new archaeology that's still happening. So people came over, as we know, from the poop treasure and the spearheads and all the other stuff. And they settled all over the Americas. And we're going to look today at Central and South America. So this is Mesoamerica, means Middle America. And you can see this is the Aztec civilization, where Ellie forgot that she went. And there was also the Mayans. You can see the Mayans in green. So she could have also gone to a Mayan. Actually, if you were talking about they both had the ball game, but that if they're telling you about it in the tour, probably you were at one of these Mayan. Where were you? Do you remember where in Mexico?
Wait, let me ask my mom.
probably Cancun or something like that. And they're also the Olmecs. So we're going to talk about the Olmecs in a minute. So there you can see all of these different sites that the Aztecs and the Mayas left in Mexico and Central America. Oh, she disappeared completely.
I think we went to the Mayan.
So you were somewhere on this peninsula. Did you go to Chichen Itza? Was it a huge pyramid with a, did they talk to you about a
Yeah.
snake?
I think it's that one.
Oh, I'm going to show you that one actually. So the pyramid that Ellie went to where she doesn't even remember the cool stuff about the pyramid, she just remembers about the ball game of doom. This is the most famous of the Mayan pyramids, and I'll show you why it's famous. It's actually wicked cool. At least to me. Maybe I don't think maybe not so much to Ellie because she doesn't remember. You don't remember about the snake?
Question.
I think I do remember
Question.
that there was something about a snake, but I don't really remember.
Miss Heather.
Yes.
Miss Heather. Why isn't Zoe here?
I don't know. Maybe Zoe's got a conflict or something, or maybe she's
Wait, I
coming-
know. She might be trying to log into the other class
She
because
could
that's
be.
what happened. That's what happened to me.
I thought Zoe was coming. I don't know where Zoe is. I guess we'll find her.
That's what happened to me.
Oh dear. I was wondering where everyone was. I should have jumped on there because I was thinking that might happen. In fact, that's what I was saying to Miller and Zachary is I hope they aren't in the old link.
This is
So this
Can
is
you
where
go
Ellie
back and do the third video down?
what third video?
There was another video about like what happened to her where like a woman climbed the pyramid and then something.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you that.
Yay.
What not to do. Oh, how beautiful. Yeah. So look, this is, see, Ellie showing you the same pyramid Ellie went here. And yeah, they wouldn't let you climb this because this one is especially steep and is also the favorite. It's like precious, precious, precious. And it's terrifying to climb these things. I climbed them and I was terrified. Actually, I'll show you what happens when you climb them. And then Ellie will be like, yeah, now I get it. So this is Chichen Itza. I can never pronounce the Aztecs words, guys. I'm sorry. They're really hard. Chichen Itza. And this is the Mayan pyramid. And this is where they would sacrifice people. They'd march people up to the top and then they'd push them off. And the cool thing about this pyramid, though, is that at a certain time of year, when the sun is hitting it just right, it makes a snake from the sunshine. So you can see this is the tail of the snake. And when I play it, you'll see the snake actually coming into like snakiness. So see how you got the tail at the top. And then if you go down, it's getting thinner and thinner as the sun moves through the sky. So this is a shadow and then the sunshine. And when I show you the bottom of it, so there is the snake's head. So see, they've got a snake sculpture at the bottom, and then the sun makes the whole windy body of the snake.
Question.
Yes.
Is it once a day or once a year?
I think it's once a year. Let me look it up. Ellie, did you see the snake?
I don't think I saw it, but like the tour guide told us about it.
Yeah, it's only during the equinoxes. So that's twice a year. Actually, let me look it up. I think it's
Very funny.
Snake. When to see.
Why is your name Miss Heather Apple Smart? You're not an apple, you know.
No, that's not my name. It's go with me.
Why is it?
Yeah, so I was right. Spring and fall, you can see the snake. Late afternoon sun hits the northwest corner. So there's only 3:45 p.m. And I mean, if you think about it, it's incredible because they were so brilliant at understanding the position of the sun and the stars and all the different astronomy in the sky that they built the pyramid so that this snake would show up exactly twice a year for just a few minutes. So they had to position the angle and the height and everything in the pyramid against the Mayan calendar. And in fact, that's what the Mayans are most known for, is their calendar, which, by the way, ended a few years ago and people thought we were all going to die. Yeah. And the steps symbolized the months. And the last 5 steps represented Uyayeb, which was the 5 disastrous days of the Mayan calendar, in which the serpent god, who is this snake, would come down one of the temple staircases. Pretty awesome, right? I think so. Now, Ellie was talking about how she wasn't allowed to climb the pyramid. Let me show why you don't want to climb the pyramid.
Hey, what? Why is there a Heather Barclay thingy over there?
It's just my screen thing.
I don't think they said anything like about like not climbing it. They might have, but I think it's just because it's like an ancient artifact.
Yeah, they don't let most places they don't let you climb it. And this is why. Oh, actually, here is someone climbing it, which you're not allowed to do. Yeah,
And then,
totally
then?
illegal.
and then, what's happening?
Well, just
Nothing.
watch. These people are running up to catch her, to get her
Why
down.
did they get to climb up?
And there's a kid saying, "Why do they get to go up and we don't
That's
get to climb
probably
it?"
a long time ago when you were like allowed to climb it.
No, she's not allowed to climb it. These guys are the park rangers, and they're going up to go get her
What?
because
Who's that guy up
Him.
there?
him, yeah, he's some crazy Polish tourist that decided to climb it. Now, guys, you can't tell from looking at it, but those steps are like this high and incredibly steep and treacherous. So it looks like you're on a cliff when you're at the top of this thing. So you could see he can't really run down it because he's scared to death because it's so freaking steep. So this is a bad idea. And there's another one where the woman falls off. Oh, they whacked her with a stick, apparently.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to climb the pyramid.
But then you basically just do you know what to her.
Oh,
So this is why. This is why you're not supposed to climb the pyramid.
Yeah.
Another sacrifice.
Was he holding the rope?
And then he gets booed and doused with water because
He fainted.
again, you're not supposed to climb the pyramid. Yeah,
That's his fault.
yeah.
He
It's a
fainted.
protected monument, and climbing it is illegal. Yeah,
He
so he got
fainted.
into a lot of trouble for climbing it.
When she got down, she was what?
Doused with water and taunted with booze before being carried off by the authorities. So see, Ellie, that's what happened. Don't climb the pyramid. Okay, let's talk about
What happens if another person as old as you climbed it?
I don't know. Well, I climbed one of these pyramids, but I climbed a pyramid that it was legal for me to climb, not a pyramid that it was illegal for me to climb.
What happened if you climb an illegal one?
I would get arrested.
What? You get arrested for climbing something?
Of course. It's considered vandalism. So
What does that mean?
when you break something or you trespass on something you're not allowed to trespass on. So the earliest people, they faced lots of different climates, from deserts to grasslands to savannas to alpine mountain regions, and as you mentioned it, rainforest. Yes, Lily.
What about like weathering and erosion? Nature doesn't get arrested for that.
But it's not climbing.
But it's destroying.
Yeah.
Arrest nature. Good grief.
Oh
So
yeah,
why
you
can you
can't.
arrest humans?
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to climb on historic artifacts. You guys in your generation
They-
of selfie culture. Oh, let me take a
But
selfie
nature
picture
can
of
break it
myself standing
down.
on this precious, timeless, precious, valuable artifact. No,
Can't
don't
you?
touch it. Leave it alone.
Can't you just let a leaf actually and the wind let the wind blow the leaf up the stairs? The leaf is climbing the the pyramid.
Nature does nature. But even nature, we protect these monuments against nature usually, if we can. Okay, so let's talk about the Olmec. This is the first of the mysteries. Before the Mayas, the Incans, and the Aztecs, which you guys probably have at least heard of, was the Olmecs, which maybe you haven't heard of. And the reason you haven't heard of them, if you haven't heard of them, is because the only thing that they're really known for, other than being first, is these giant, enormous cement heads, which are significantly taller than Lily, which are found all over the rainforests. And they're just there. We know that they were the first civilization, that they were huge, had a huge city, San Lorenzo in Mesoamerica, that they built awesome sculptures, including aqueducts, pyramids, and stone carvings. I see you, Amelia. That they had a religion, that they traded with other cultures, and they're the mother culture of all the other cultures, meaning everyone else is descended from them. But they vanished. Nobody knows why. Yes, Amelia?
Did you make these slides?
I made some of these slides.
Oh, because did you make this slide?
I can't remember.
Oh, because if you did, then you made it really funny. Disappeared. No one knows why.
Well, they did disappear and no one knows why.
What can't you do?
Now, if
They
you
just
were
disappeared and nobody knows why they disappeared.
Isn't
just-
that like Roanoke?
exactly
What?
even more mysterious than Roanoke, they just disappeared. We don't know why. We also don't know where they came from. So, would you say that these faces, what ethnicity would you guess these people were based
They're
upon?
sad.
Yeah, but like, are they African, Asian,
Cannot tell.
Alaskan? You know, where in the world would you say that they come from? Looking at these faces, here are
Sad.
some more of them.
Yeah, they're sad.
You did not answer the question. Here we go. Let me show you what these look like. So there's a whole bunch of them.
Isn't like didn't something happen similarly in like the Eastern Islands or something?
Oh, you're so right. I love that you noticed that. Tell me more.
You can buy one.
So basically, there was like a huge statue in like a random island, and nobody knows who built them and how they got
Question.
them.
Question.
Amelia, you can't just yell question in the middle of Jason's talking. He was actually contributing something incredibly important. What did Jason just say, Amelia?
That there was a statue somewhere and nobody knows why.
Where? You were too busy talking to even listen to what he was saying, and it was a huge contribution. So you're absolutely right, Jason. So these are the Olmec heads. Now, what do they look like to you? Do they look, if you look at the features, where would you guess that these people were from? What do you think, Miller?
I'm not that sure.
What do you think, Zachary?
I mean, I'm
You
not
look at
really
the
sure.
nose, the eyes, the lips.
I mean, like the lips go down, but like I'm not really sure.
Mhm. Amelia, are you answering the question I just asked? Okay.
Maybe somewhere where like the people there are really crafty and good with materials.
Maybe. Some people have said that the features look Asian because of the sort of shape of the eyes.
And the head, the hat.
Yeah. Yep, that's a ball helmet, by the way. Other people have said that they could be African because of the shape of the mouth and the nose. So
So who is correct?
I say a mix of Asian and African.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
interesting.
Same.
And I mean that could be because the earliest people did come from Africa, so there would have been a lot of mixing through the migrations. And so what you just said about Easter Island is really interesting because there is a theory. It's an unfounded theory, meaning we don't know, and we know too little for any archaeologist to say yes, this is likely, but it's just an idea. You're not the first person to say those kind of remind me of the Eastern Island heads. But here's the thing. Here's what the Easter Island heads look like that he's talking about. These are the ones that most of the world knows about. They get all the attention, but these poor Olmecs, they get no attention at all. So these are the mysterious heads from Easter Island. Now we now know that all of these heads actually have bodies. So they've started excavating them. But I actually didn't know this. One of my students told me. I just thought they were heads because, you know, when I was learning about them, we hadn't thought to dig to see if there was more to them. But they actually have a whole body to them. A lot of them. So someone else said the same thing, that these resemble the Eastern Island heads. Now you can see the facial features are pretty different.
Buried.
And
They're buried.
Yep, the style of the carving is pretty different. But
They're buried.
you know, I mean, it's an interesting idea. The problem with that idea is this. So if we look at,
Is there a fast forward of the people digging it up?
I don't know, you have to look.
What's that called?
See,
Google
look,
Earth?
here's Easter Island. This is where those heads that I just showed you are. You can see it's just this tiny island in the middle of the Pacific, in the middle of nowhere. And the Olmec heads are all the way, if we were to draw a line, all the way up here. So if this were to be, I lost the island. Where did it go?
You find islands?
No, Easter Island. Where did it go?
Isn't it that one?
It was there.
Oh.
I lost it.
Is it that one?
Oh,
Or is it that
let's
one?
find it again.
Is it that one or that one?
Here we go. You'll see it so far away, you actually have to turn the earth to get to it. So if we zoom out,
Wait, it's
don't
in
lose
the
it.
ocean. Is it covered by ocean? Because it looks like it's covered by
So,
ocean.
if you look at my line, it is. It's in the middle of the ocean. So,
No, like, is it
Oop.
literally underneath the ocean?
no. But look, they would have these people from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago would have had to sail the open ocean all the way from there to here. Now,
Well,
most people think that that's pretty unlikely that they had boats and ability to do that. But there is at least one scholar that thinks that's what's going on. So it's interesting that you say that because a historian has suggested the same thing. Yes, Amelia?
Wait, so the earth changed over time.
That's
So that means
class.
they might have, like, bridge.
No. The earth doesn't, no, the earth is on a different timeline. The earth changes over millions of years, and humans have only existed, let me show
For
you.
so long.
Our actual existence is just a speck of a speck of a speck on the existence of the universe. So if we look, let me show you. So no, because if we look at this, for example, see that little dot right there? So here's the beginning of life. Right here, eukaryotic single-celled organisms. There's the beginning of the universe. And you can see it's millions of years. There's dinosaurs, and then humans our whole existence is just a teeny tiny dot compared to Earth. And here are the ice ages.
How do you know if Earth lives that long? How do you know if Earth lives
The
that
study of geology. There's scientists that's all they do is study the age of the universe.
I think Earth lived longer than that.
No, human beings have only been alive for like a speck.
Yeah, I
And-
think Earth has been alive longer than that.
You would have to research the Big Bang, but this is in billions of years. This
Yeah,
is,
that makes sense.
and in those billions of years, you can see
How
human
much has
beings.
happened?
Yeah.
How did human beings first get invented in the first place, actually?
Oh, that's a bit of a detour. We did that were you not in Story of the World 1? We did that in Story of the World
No,
1.
I wasn't here for Story of the
Does
World.
someone who was in Story of the World 1 want to answer that question for her? Where did human beings come from?
I wasn't in Story of the World.
Are any of you guys here in Story of the World? How did we miss Story of the World 1?
Yeah, I just skipped it because, well, I don't know.
I think Ellie, weren't you in Story of the World 1? No?
I think this is the only time I'm free, and it's, but it was
Okay,
already
so
on the second book.
There's a
But I
long
do
answer
have
to that, but basically, Amelia,
First book.
human beings descended from apes when Africa used to be forested, and then there was climate change and it got hot and the forest turned into savannas, which are plains. And so the apes, human-like apes, needed to evolve to standing on 2 feet so that they could run across the plains, and they didn't need their arms for swinging in the trees anymore. And so
because there were no trees.
yeah, exactly, because the trees were no longer a thing. So over a long time, humans evolved into 3 different species of humans: Neanderthals, Homo erectus, and Homo sapiens.
What?
Neanderthals were super apex predator hunters with giant eyes who could see in the dark and extremely strong. Homo erectus were very smart and had rituals and all sorts of features of humans. And Homo sapiens had very big brains. And there was another extinction event, and the only of the 3 that survived were Homo sapiens. And
Which is the what? Which one again?
the ones with the big brains. And so we managed to survive the Ice Age, which wiped out the Neanderthals and the Homo erectus.
How
But
did they live?
they were smart, and they figured out how to make clothes and have fire and cook food and get access to food more efficiently, how to make tools. And so,
How did the strong ones not bust through the ice or something?
well, some of it, so they mixed too. So most of us have some Neanderthal blood. Most of us probably have some Homo erectus blood, but mainly we're Homo sapiens because
And what's the last one again?
that lived. Homo erectus, Neanderthal, and Homo sapiens, and we're Homo
Homo
sapiens.
sapiens. Oh yeah.
Yep,
And then
but
the
there's
second
actually
one?
a lot of arguments over why Homo sapiens lived, and the others.
Wait, the second one is what? The what one again?
Homo sapiens, Homo erectus. Erectus means to stand upright, and
But like, what type are they
Neanderthals.